This is how you should not open up your iPhone. Now, this iPhone 4 was plugged in for about 2 hours and would not cooperate with me and turn on. So, before we damage this thing, let's just marvel at it for a few seconds, because this is a beautiful piece of technology back in the day. At least it was. So, this screen, I'm assuming, is held together with some adhesive. So, what I'm going to try to do is use some fire and burn the adhesive between the screen and the part of the phone that's not the screen. Trust me, I don't know what I'm doing here. So I try to lodge a knife in between the glass and the side of the phone, which is obviously a smart idea. But as I fail that, I switch over to my baby screwdriver and try to do the same thing. But the screwdriver is just a little bit too thick. So, I try again with the knife. I try cutting in between the glass and the side of the phone, which obviously ends up not working again. And don't do this. My finger's on the blade. I could have slipped and cut myself. If you are trying to repair a phone successfully and try to use it after you've repaired it, please don't watch this video. Go over to a YouTube channel called Jerry Rig Everything. He's a great YouTuber. He actually inspired me to do this. So, go right ahead and watch his videos if you want to actually fix your phone. If you want to destroy it like me, well, then do this, but just be a lot more safe. So, I realized that whenever you press down the plastic home button, there's a tiny little bit of space between the home button and the screen of the phone. So what I try to do is I try to stick my sharp knife in between the home button and the screen. At first this doesn't work. So I go ahead and I take my lighter and I melt the plastic home button a little bit. So whenever I stick my knife in there, it can get through easily, and I can hopefully cut the adhesive that's around the whole entire screen, and I can pop off the screen. Once I actually get my knife into the slot between the home button and the screen, I start to tear the adhesive that I can tell is holding together the button and the screen. So as I'm tearing it, I'm thinking, well, I need to get the whole glass panel off. So, what I do here is I try to put my screwdriver in that hole to lift off the glass, but I need something a little bit thinner. Try my non-flat screwdriver, because that's smart, but that ended up not working. So I end up taking my knife and putting it through the home button and through the glass, just like that. So, once I get that done, I try to pry it all the way around the screen so I can just tear off the screen, because there is some adhesive that you will see in a second. But to open it up a little bit more, I take the thicker screwdriver, put it in, and start sliding. And I realize it's probably shouldn't really have a knife pointed at me while I'm doing this. So I try to use my weak fingers to pull it up. Doesn't work. Go right back to the screwdriver. As you can see, there's a rubber right there on the screwdriver. There is a rubber thing that's in between the screen and the metal. I'm assuming the phone's not waterproof, because I don't think that really existed back then, but I could be wrong. So as I'm pulling it away, you can see some adhesive sticking the phone together, but being the stupid person I am, I break apart a ribbon cable. I believe it's what it's called. Right there. You can see that I tore it off, because those things are as fragile as paper. Now I just tear off whatever the heck this thing is, because I don't know what parts of a phone are. And I see there's the home button that I completely destroyed. So, yeah. And I'm looking at it, thinking, well, what the heck is this? Well, there's a camera right there. It's a whatever megapixel front-facing camera that you can take your selfies with. Put them on Snapchat for people who actually use an iPhone 4. And I tore off this little metal piece. At least I tried, because my weak fingers, they can't really do much. And so there's this rubber lip going around the whole entire phone that you can see right there. I'm assuming it's just there to hold the phone. And as I shake my camera like a professional, I try to lift up this metal part of the phone so I can try to get inside the phone to look at all of its cool things in there. But to no prevail, I can't really do it. So I go from the plastic part and I finally break that off. I try to pull it, and it doesn't really work. So I go back to my screwdriver and I can hear the sound of tiny things of metal breaking, and I know that's on the main board. And I know I'm just breaking stuff. So this phone is it happened a couple of minutes ago. I'm not going to be able to use it again. Not like it would have turned on anyways. But yeah, so I'm trying to find my way to this battery so I can unplug it. Because if you do this while the battery's plugged in, it could short circuit. Or whatever it's called. So I'm trying to bend off this metal piece, but I don't really think it's going to happen. So I just try to bend it back and get it out of my way. And then right there, that thing that I'm pointing at, I'm assuming that's a speaker. I could be 100% wrong, but I think that's a speaker. I'm not sure. And then that's the That's the headphone jack. That's the camera, I think. And then I'm gonna stick my screwdriver into the headphone jack because why not? Yeah, wasn't that fun? But anyways, there's a tiny little screw that I see that for some reason I try unscrewing with my way too big screwdriver that ends up not working. But then I realize this black part on the middle, it's just coming off with my screwdriver. So I just start rubbing all of it off because, you know, logic, if it can rub off with a screwdriver, then rub it off. So it's kind of sticky, kind of sticks to your hands a little bit. I have no idea what this is. You'll have to... Maybe I'll link Jerry this video, or his real name's Zach. Be like, hey yo, what is this? But anyways, I rub it off to try to make it look clean, which doesn't really work. And at this point, I want to get this giant metal plate off of the phone. And this is where I make my very, very big mistake. Before I do that, I try to bend the phone because I think I'm strong enough to do that, which I am not. The smaller phones are really, really hard to bend. And right here, I stick my knife in between the plastic part, or the side of the phone and the metal plate, trying to lift that part off, and I succeed at first. But as I keep trying to open it up, I don't realize that the battery is right underneath that. So, in a couple seconds here, I'm going to take my baby screwdriver, and I'm going to accidentally puncture the battery as I'm trying to lift it up. And I notice it whenever there's smoke right there. I take the screwdriver away, and you can see that orange light right by the volume buttons. That's fire. It's a very small amount, but that's fire. And at that moment, I realized that I had punctured the battery, which is the last thing you need to do to a battery of a phone. So, you can hear me at this point. I think I just punctured the battery. I have realized what I have done, and so I try to push the metal back in so no fire can escape, because that's going to help out a lot. And I go run and get one of those medical syringes. Not like an actual syringe, but just one that I can put liquid in. And I try to cool it off. But whenever I do this, I hear this very loud sizzling sound. And I know that's the sound that water and fire make whenever you mix them together. But in the heat of the moment, I didn't know what I was doing. I was freaking out, so I was like, oh crap, this isn't right. So, and I feel the back of the phone, and it's hot. It's hotter than, I don't know, but it's kind of hot. So I try to put more water on there, try to cool off the whole entire system, which really doesn't work. And I go and deal with the phone myself. If I had to grade how I did this phone destruction, phone repair, or whatever, I'd probably give myself a big fat thumbs down. What do you think? Did I do good, or did I do horrible?